What's up, YouTube? So, I want to talk about a 90-10 mentality versus an all-in mentality. 90% in, 10% out, kind of cheating. It's basically giving 90% of your effort, so to speak, versus a full-on all-in, I'm fully 100% committed. The idea, guys, with the 90-10 mentality is that it's close to being perfect without being perfect, because the problem with being 100% perfect and trying to be perfect with this all-in mentality is that if you end up falling short and breaking your streak, you tend to go the opposite way because you figure, oh, you know what, I've already broken my streak, I messed up, I might as well just keep messing up and just start over again the next day, or I've broken my streak and now I'm so discouraged, I'm just going to quit. This is really just a method to keep you guys on track. No one can be at 100% forever, and I'm not saying to not try to give your best. I'm saying that you start where you're at and improve and try to get it mostly right. That alone will allow room for you to slack with that 10%. And we all slack, guys, just none of us wants to admit it, right? None of us are all in with everything for our entire lives, even if we want to give our best effort. There's going to be periods of time when you can only give the best effort that you can, and that's what I consider the 90-10, because you can't always be present there building a relationship. You can't always be 100% in on your work. You're going to have to take time away from your work to spend with your family, and vice versa, time away from your family to spend on work. So you can't be physically 100% all the time, but it's giving your best effort when you can. Honestly, the nice thing about aiming to be almost perfect is that it allows you room for cheating, which can actually help you stay on the path of being consistent. A lot can happen with consistency, even if it's just a little bit of effort. Over time, guys, whatever you do will be reinforced the more that you do it. So the 90-10 will get you closer towards the 100%. With that said, your life is not just all work. It's not all play. It's a mixture. Working hard is something that we're made to do. It's intrinsic. Working hard gives you purpose and it fulfills you, and it also pushes society forward and gives benefit to others. So it's not just for yourself, it's for society and many other people. So basically think about this right now, guys. So I got my notes in front of me, obviously. So picture this. If you're a hard worker consistently, you will want time off to spend with family, doing hobbies, taking care of yourself. But if you have a big project that needs to get done, you might do a period of time where you sacrifice some of those things and put more focus on work. Then, when that project is completed, you will then move back to your baseline, which is hard work with balance. So there you go. You switched into all-in mentality for that period of time into your work. But you can switch into an all-in mentality if you practice being almost perfect, because if you set your standards to the fact that I'm going to try to be mostly right, and you get it mostly right, then a lot of the times you're going to be right all the time. And instead of being a little bit like 10% cheating, you might say, you know what, this week I don't need a cheat meal. I'm going to be 100% on my diet, because you've reinforced the habit of being the person that shows up and does the right work. So then you make it easier for yourself to say no to the things that are tempting you to pull you away from your 90% to reach 100%. If you set your bar so high that you're like, I have to be perfect all the time, chances are you're going to mentally give yourself a reason to take a break and to cheat. But if you just tell yourself, I have to be mostly right, and then I can get a treat or a little cheat, and then you build up the reinforcement of becoming that person so much that when you get time to have that cheat, you don't actually want it, because you're like, no, I'm actually good. This is not really the thing that works out with this identity that I've built up as being this person that wouldn't do this thing. So that's really what I'm trying to get across. So it's not really like 90% of your time, but it's the idea of being consistent and working on something most of the time with room for breaks. And that just goes with the idea of not just work, but also just everything else in life. It's really just a measure of effort. It can be used and fluctuates in every single area of life. You can switch to going all in terms of relaxing, not just work as well. This is seen in your work, your relationships, your hobbies, and self-care. It's that you're trying to show up and give your best effort, and you reinforce your habit. Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. But guess what, guys? You land on the moon, you're still in outer space. But if you set your sights so far that you want to exit the Milky Way galaxy and land on a different galaxy, well, that idea might be too overwhelming, and you might not even start at all, because the thought of trying to leave this galaxy when you got to first leave Earth's gravity and get into outer space, then get to the moon, then get to the stars. It's going to be too overwhelming because you set too much of a high standard right off the bat before you became somebody that was even in outer space. So before you even built the basis and the foundation and reinforced and got your reps in becoming the person that could even achieve that lofty goal. That's the idea of setting a big long-term goal, but also having short-term goals to reinforce you actually becoming the person and having the daily actions that show that you can reach that long-term goal. I don't know if this makes sense. I hope it does. I'm thinking this is big. Hope you guys benefited. I'll see you in another video. Take care. Peace.